Wait for him to get himself all set here. Are you good to go?
Yep.
How are you?
Good, thank you. Right out of practice.
Well,
How was it?
It was good. It's good. Got to get the guys to classes on time.
Which is good.
Yeah. So the professors don't lock the doors and keep them out.
They wouldn't do that, I'll tell you that much.
What, or first of all, I guess congratulations on getting back on the winning side of things.
Thank you. Yeah, it was nice to start the conference off like that. So get a nice shutout and a win. So crazy games lately.
Yeah, I mean, we talked last week about how well you've been playing defensively, and maybe we shouldn't bring up things like that anymore because the Gardner-Webb game is just completely off of the radar, man.
The whole thing was bizarre. Weirdest game I think I've been involved in a long time. So to be 3-0 down and come back to 3-3 emotionally is tough to do, and then go down again, then come back, and then have so many chances to win the game. And then they win it on it was a bizarre mistake by one of our captains, and just I don't think that'll ever happen again. So, but they took their chances, and 5-4. The fans will be coming back. The neutrals, they love a lot of scoring. That's for sure. They want to make the goals bigger or get rid of the offsides, whatever they want to do. They've always said that. Well, there was 9 goals in that game. We've actually scored a lot of goals.
Yeah, I had an international soccer coach who was assistant at Clemson. This is going back to around 2000. Told me that he thought that Americans would accept soccer better, and I think obviously it's grown considerably since then. But his opinion was if goals were worth 7 points instead of 1, that might suit Americans better because instead of 2 to 1, you'd have 14 to 7.
Or 2 points for every shot, or 3 points for a shot, that kind of thing. No, you get 1 for 1. That's what you get.
I didn't say I agreed with him. I'm just telling you what he said.
No, okay. So he's not around anymore.
No, he was Colombian. I think he's
South Carolina.
Back. No, the country of
Colombia.
Yeah.
That game was also the Greg Griffin game, which I know added a little bit to the disappointment, but there's a bigger picture that we talked about. How did that go? How did that go with Gray's dad? Just
he came in and talked to the guys before the game, and which was good. And you do after the game. You're disappointed, man. Didn't sleep that night, but I mean, his loss is significantly worse than ours, and you kind of put things in perspective. You're like, you know what? We're not doing a bad thing as long as we're doing the right thing with the kids and sending the right message. We're doing the right thing, and his message to the kids was great. It was really, really good, and he just about living your lives and enjoying your lives and doing the right things, and in the Gray's image and how he lived his life, and it was good. I mean, for him to come all the way down from Richmond to do that, we really appreciate that. He's a good man, just retired, which is nice. So he's trying to play a little bit more golf as well. So, but he's a good guy. Always be part of our program. It was nice to bring back some good memories of Gray.
I would have to think and thank God that I have not experienced this, and I pray that I never do. But it's always been said that there's no pain like the pain of losing a child.
Yeah. So
I can imagine that staying connected and coming down here and doing this every year would have to be good therapy for him.
I hope so. I know it's tougher for his wife, but for him, he enjoys it. He enjoys the fact that the Gray was here, and the fact that he relived some great memories with, and some other former people were around as well that he knew, and just having the familiarity of the coaches and seeing things again. Sometimes it brings up pulls off a scab maybe a little bit, but for him, he sees it as a picture of Gray would have been 32, 33 right now. What would he be? And that's the saddest thing for him. Can't have grandkids now. Can't that's the kind of only things that he kind of worries about, or just plays on his mind. Everything else was so positive, and he is a positive guy. I mean, and you're right. I mean, having that over your head must be awful, but the messages he sends and the outlook he has and on life and that, and is just an amazing thing for him. But he still loves the place. He's great. His messages to me, the fact that he comes back and supports us and keeps in touch with everyone is just a great thing. More of a man than I would be. I just can't imagine doing that if it ever happened, like you said. But and you pray it doesn't happen. But he's a good man, and I just wish our guys had won the game for him. but that wasn't the point. He came over and talked to the guys again and gave us perspective.
You mentioned the shutout of VMI. How big was that? Not only coming off the Gardner-Webb game, but not having Dylan Rowe and Cam Robinson playing some of your two solid backline defenders.
Two very experienced guys. Hopefully we get them back. Dylan trained this morning. Cam didn't train yesterday, so hopefully getting those guys back would be nice because they are definitely a piece of the puzzle in our makeup of the defense. But no excuses. We shouldn't give up those goals. But to get that shutout was good, and we played a lot of players. Some guys saw their first playing time in college soccer, which was nice. And we combined the goalkeepers as well. Again, we had 27, 28 shots. So it's exciting stuff. We're going forward well, and my assistants are arguing who's winning the offensive or the defensive guys. So
that's good stuff, right?
And I'm
there.
like, yeah, well, you don't give up 5 goals. I don't think we've ever given up 5 goals.
Sure.
But to come back, the last 2 games we scored 4 at each game. So something's happening, and different guys are scoring as well, which is nice. So it is nice to start the conference off and get 3 points in the conference. That was essential.
I guess the most important thing when you have a game like Gardner-Webb is being able to diagnose why it happened and take the corrective steps. I mean, it's not – you're pretty sure you understand what happened and you can take corrective steps, right?
We watched a lot of film.
Yeah.
I mean, Monday, because it was Tuesday. The days are flying by. Monday, it was an hour and a half of film with the guys in the locker room, and it wasn't just one guy. It was a team effort that lost that game. And, I mean, a lot can be blamed on a mistake by our captain at the very end for the last goal, but there's other goals. And there was a lot of team stuff that we weren't, our chemistry wasn't there. So I told him, I said, we don't have to reinvent our wheel. I mean, our formula's still there. We just got to get back to it. And we got to work harder at being back to it, more compact and more aggressive and, not taking teams lightly and that kind of thing. But it was a good time for us to go back to the drawing board a little bit here. And to get a reality check that there's no easy games. In men's soccer, there's no easy games.
You play a tough opponent on Saturday at UNC Greensboro. Can you talk about what you're going to see from the Spartans?
They're always tough. I think they just tied ETSU in their last game. And it's always been a big rivalry since I've been here in the conference, since they've come in. They got a good field to play on. It's going to be a good game. It always is. They always try and play. But they're very athletic. But it'll be a good game. And it's always tough in our league, particularly the end of this year, because we play each other twice. And that is really tough. But, they're a bit of a rival. Obviously, we're come backwards and forwards with them each year. And it's usually a fairly aggressive game. But I'm looking forward to I really look forward to playing them because they're a tough opponent.
Yeah, and by the time we talk to you again, you'll have not only played them, but you'll be back at Stone Stadium on Tuesday night of next week with Mercer at 7 o'clock. So you'll have another opportunity for the fans, a rare opportunity for the fans to see you play
we're getting
at home.
into more games now at home as well, which, by the way, the crowd was huge the other night. It was a huge crowd. And we had the United FC night as well, which is a ton of kids in the area. So them seeing Connor Hubbard start being one of their own was really nice. That was a big cheer when they announced that was his first start in college soccer, and actually that was the club he came from.
Oh wow!
So for there's a couple of thousand kids there, they're cheering him on, and he did everything but score. He was trying so hard, even in that very last second when the ball came across, and then I think he hit the bar as well on a header. And he's playing really well right now.
You have 2 forwards that have put up 4 goals, then 2 defenders. How kind of big is that kind of spread your offense around like that?
Well, the defenders are getting them from penalty kicks. I mean,
Sure.
the forwards are reminding them that's happening. They're not earning their goals. They're getting the penalty kicks, and the defenders are bigger than them, so they push them out of the way and say, we're taking the penalty kicks.
There you go.
I think we should get assists for the guys who get the penalty kicks.
I think you're right about that.
I think we should ask Kasky. That should be a trivia question this week, as you struggled last week with my trivia question.
No doubt about that.
Let's just go ahead and segue right into that.
We're waiting for this.
Because I know you have. I know you have, and we did not give away the answer. We haven't given away the answer yet. We talked about it some, I think, yesterday, and intimated perhaps what the answer was when you kept talking about we were very close to the answer. I'm going to give myself credit for this. I didn't have the name, but I had the circumstance. The catcher with the red stockings that was the first guy, but that guy's name was
Doug Allison.
Doug Allison.
Oh man!
Seriously, still upsets Clint Hill, who I've seen this morning because he's here for a golf tournament for I think basketball or baseball, but he's back, and I reminded him of that. So he's like, stop it. But yeah, it was Doug Allison, which upsets a lot of people.
Yeah, 1870. It's believed that he was the first player to use a glove.
Yeah.
And it was a homemade contraption with padding in it because he had an injured left hand.
And I've aged well, but but it was kind of sore. But I moved over to cricket and tried to help them out as well. But yeah, that upsets a lot of people over here. That it's Doug Allison's because I have no idea about baseball.
To be 150, 160 years old, you don't look a day over 70.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, yeah.
But that was good. The cryptic clue. I mean, you had walked out the door, and I told Forrest, I said,
and you're Googling straight away. I could tell. I was like,
exactly.
There were sparks flying from it.
And before I said anything, I just literally laughed out loud. I said, okay, he got us on that one. But Doug Allison invented the baseball glove. Mm-hmm. I can imagine Clint just hates that.
It's rolling over.
Yeah, he doesn't like that, and I don't think Mike Buddy will like it either. I don't know if he knows it yet.
Oh man,
we need to tell Mike.
I think you should.
Yeah, I got to pick the right time to talk to Mike.
Don't do it on contract negotiation. No. All right. Anything else that we need to know before we say goodbye?
No. Thanks again for having me. Appreciate it. Hopefully, start doing some things good in the conference. That's all we have right now for the rest of the regular season.
And, if I can find a soccer trivia question that's got my name attached to it, I'm going to search.
Yeah.
I'm going to search.
Yeah.
Of course, I just gave away the answer, didn't I?
You get yourself a question. I'm be really curious, but give me a few days to figure it out because I know you're going to pick a tough one, but it's good. That rivalry's good. I think I'm 1-0 right now.
I'd say so.
Oh yeah, you definitely are. Yeah. I'll admit it. You got me on that one. That was good.
What's your sport?
Baseball.
Is it baseball too?
Baseball, yeah. Baseball and basketball.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you got 2 for the price of 1 on that.
Yeah,
one.
big time.
Yeah, because none of you knew.
No,
Spalding.
Yeah, I didn't even know the catcher was the first one out, and I was the catcher.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so that was even a double down on me. So.
Well, glad I could enlighten you guys.
You kind of think that part of it would be logical.
Pastime.
Yeah,
that's right. That's right. That would have been logical.
Yeah, but anyway. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Doug.
Appreciate it.
That's going to wrap it up for us, and we'll be back with you tomorrow. Jay Sandos, the play-by-play voice of East Tennessee State, will be our guest tomorrow as we continue to preview that matchup. Until then, for Forrest, for Coach Allison, and for all of our guests today, Billy Davis, Drew Cronick, Chad Staggs, I'm Dan Scott saying God bless you, and so long, everybody.